What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video and thank you for joining me. My name's Jesse and we are finally back here in the off-week garage. The last almost 2 months has been Sturgis content, which I had a ton of fun filming, living, and sharing with you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it as well. But we're back and we are ready to switch gears. Over these last 2 months, a lot has happened. The channel hit 10,000 subscribers, which is so exciting. We're gonna talk more about that in this video. And I had open abdominal surgery. So over the next 6 weeks, I can't really lift anything heavy, no serious wrenching or parts installs or anything like that, but I wanted to keep the videos coming to you guys. So I figured with hitting 10,000 subscribers, now would be the perfect time to bring you guys some videos that subscribers have asked for, and I just didn't have the time to do, whether it was because we were on the road for trip style content or I had parts ready to go that I wanted to install and get those videos out. But with this downtime, I'm able to kind of address some of those. So one of the video requests that I have gotten multiple times in the comment section and via private email is, how much money does the channel make? I figure since we just hit 10,000 subscribers, now is the perfect time to pull back the curtain and tell you guys how much money the channel earns, because the numbers might surprise you. All right, so before we get started throwing around numbers about how much the channel earns per month, per year, over the lifetime of the channel, I first have to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much to every single one of you crazy folks who decided to subscribe to the channel. I cannot believe 10,000 of you, who mostly I have not met, have decided that I am worth watching, work on a motorcycle and take motorcycle trips with my friends and girlfriend, and it's just crazy to me. I appreciate all of you so much, and you guys are 100% the driving force behind this channel continuing to exist and keeping me motivated and keeping me going. Because as you're gonna find out during this video, financially, it is not worth having a small YouTube channel. This is a labor of love. I enjoy being a part of the community. I enjoy meeting people who are like-minded and helping people throughout the process with parts installs and just sharing my experiences and thoughts. And you know, that I would do it if no one was here, but I appreciate all of you for being here, truly. So thank you guys so much for that. Moving forward, I think the next goal has to be 25,000 subscribers. In terms of my own personal goals, it's to continue to improve the video quality and content for you guys. Keep doing parts installs on the Road Glide, which is right behind you. We're working on the Dyna currently. We've got the mid-control install going. The inner primary has given me tons of issues. Serious can of worms over here. Lots of stuff going on, as well as wanting to continue to expand upon the off-week garage idea. You guys have seen stickers. I do not sell them yet. I have sent them to some people, as well as actually some koozies, but I don't have any place to sell them or anything like that. So that's not a thing yet, but maybe one day. One day, maybe we'll sell stickers and sell t-shirts. I don't know if that's something that we'll want to do, but you know, it's up to you guys, right? If you guys watch and you guys want to blow this thing up and make it something else, then okay, we'll make shirts and stuff. So for now, that's kind of my thoughts on the future direction of the channel. I just wanted to kind of share that with you guys quickly, since we're on the topic of, milestones and whatever. So enough about that. I want to get into the financial aspects behind this channel. And to do that, I really want to start at the beginning and talk about what I invested into starting this journey and what it takes to get monetized, and then, eventually how much money the channel earns. So to get things rolling here, I want to start off with how the channel idea even started and kind of work our way from there. So we have to go back to the 1st of January, 2024. I was driving home from work and I was in a little bit of a rut. I had gotten my chief engineer's unlimited horsepower license from the Coast Guard. We are governed by the Coast Guard, anybody that works on large ships. So like you see Matson ships, Pacia ship, whatever, all those different large slow speed diesel ships that you see in various ports all over the country and world, I'm licensed to work on. So that is my professional career. Chief engineer is as high as you can go in the engineering department. Two highest positions on ships are chief and captain. They are equal. So once I hit that goal of chief engineer, I kind of felt like, well, now what? So I started thinking about what could I do to give myself that ambition and that move again, right? So I didn't want to go to college. I didn't want to learn a new language or work at another job, but I did want to do something for myself that made me happy and also felt like I was working towards a goal. And YouTube has always been something that I was interested in doing. I grew up, at the beginnings of YouTube and just after high school watching people like Whistle and Diesel and Street Speed 717 and, different motorcycle YouTube channels of the sort. And it's always been something that's really, really cool to me, being able to create content 100% creative control and people enjoy it, right? Hopefully, that's the goal. So it's always been something that I wanted to do, but I always put it off because there is a lot of upfront unknowns, right? Going into it, I didn't know that I would need a really nice, fancy, expensive computer. And nowadays cameras are better and cheaper and you can get 4K cameras anywhere. But back then, it was different. And the other aspect of that is when it comes to doing these installs, they take so much longer when you're filming. I'm telling you, there are like a rear shock install that should take maybe half an hour on your motorcycle will easily take you 4 hours with filming an intro, an outro, during, getting different angles, making sure that what you say is articulated well, because undoubtedly someone in the comment section will, just call you out on anything, and, rightfully so. It's a public space for everybody to do that, so fair enough. Yeah, it's a lot, and that's kind of what, averted me from creating a channel sooner, right? But January 1st, I was driving home, and I was in my BMW, just, speed limit, whatever, and I have a Lamborghini go flying by me. And I thought to myself, that guy does not do more than me in 12 hours on a work day than I do. He's just doing it a lot different. And I don't know, just something about it just motivated me differently than other things have. Some people get motivated by public speakers, by a life traumatic event, whatever it is. I don't know. I don't know what to say. That was mine, right? And I drove all the way home and I told myself, since I didn't have like a New Year's resolution, because I'm not, I'm going to lose 20 pounds and I don't do that. So, but I decided, you know what? My New Year's resolution is going to be that I am going to start a YouTube channel. It was a perfect storm because at the same time, I had been looking for a new road glide. I had already test ridden 2023 STs and was already set on buying one of those. And as we all knew at the beginning of January, Harley-Davidson was releasing the new 2024s, and the rumor mill was that they were going to be a completely different bike. They were going to be the 2023.5 CVO style, but now that was going to be the new standard option. So I thought, what if I bought the first one that showed up at Harley-Davidson in Tacoma and I just started making videos on it? Wouldn't that do pretty well? Even though nobody knows me, nobody knows the channel, they would watch, because where else are they going to see content on this new bike? And I, without even knowing it, I guess had already learned that trick by watching other people like Street Speed 717 and car creators growing up, TJ Hunt. They bought these new cars when nobody else had them yet, and they were the only ones providing content on it, and everybody watched it, and it helped grow their channel, and they added value to the space. So that's what I did. And it worked out. It worked out, because here we are. So now that you guys know how the channel became an idea, we need to go over what it took to make it a reality. The first thing that's needed, in my opinion, to start a decent quality YouTube channel is a very highly capable computer. Either a laptop or computer, whatever you prefer. I ended up building out a MacBook myself. I like the Final Cut video editing program. I have a little bit of experience with it, having watched one of my best friends, Casey, use it. He is a professional videographer for S-Tech, previously worked for BMW. So I've seen a lot of the video editing and what goes into it, and I like the Final Cut program. Other options that people use are like Adobe Premiere Pro. There's a few more, I forget what they're called, but that's that. So a very, very highly capable computer is a must. Fully spec'd out, you know, high graphics card, RAM, etc. Those things are all very necessary. Otherwise, when you're handling these large file sizes, the computer's just going to crash. Your program's going to crash. You're going to lose your hard work, right? I've had it happen even to me a couple of times where when I'm working with large file sizes, I'll like make a color grade correction or something like that, and the entire Final Cut timeline, so all those video clips that I have timed right to audio and stuff like that, it'll crash, right? It'll freeze. You'll have to close it out because it won't close out, and then you open it back up and maybe, you know, what you had done 10 minutes ago was saved, but none of the other stuff. So really, when it comes to your workflow and not having major traumatic experiences like that, having a very good computer that's pretty spec'd out is important. So beyond that, you can film on an iPhone. When I started the channel, the first few months I was filming on my iPhone landscape mode 4K 30. I didn't want to invest a ton into the channel up front because as much as I knew that I was going to stick to it because that's how I am, I just wanted to take it in steps, right? So I did that, and I used a like $150 DJI gimbal, which is just a stabilization tool. So that's what I used, and it worked. So you don't need any fancy cameras and stuff like that. Mainly just the computer's the big thing, and then the time to learn the program. But beyond that, I did end up purchasing a DJI Osmo Pocket 3, which is what I'm currently filming and talking to you guys on, as well as some DJI mics. And I use a Insta360 camera on the bars of the bike, which you see in a lot of my trip videos, as well as Insta360 action camera. I used to use GoPro. I hate them, I hate them, I hate them. They suck. A lot of people don't use them anymore because they just let you down. I've lost footage, I've lost audio. I filmed an entire video on my GoPro when we were in Daytona Bike Week with a Harley-Davidson that they were nice enough to let me use for free. And I said, okay, well, the least I can do is film some content with it for them, right? Wrong, lost everything on it. I don't use GoPros, so that's that. Moving on, I'm still very early on in the process, as you guys are aware, so don't take me as an expert on the subject, but definitely baseline, good computer, and a way to shoot, you know, at least 1080p footage, right? Which iPhone, Android, any of that stuff can do that. So from there, learning video editing software, whether it's Adobe Premiere Pro or Final Cut, is going to be the main hurdle. It's a lot of work. It's not intuitive. You learn these tricks, you end up like YouTubing, like, oh, I wanna do a transition like this. How would I do that? And then you watch it on YouTube and you learn the steps from someone. And it's fun now because I can kind of, oh, that's how I could cut this out or do that. And I figured out, so that's that. To monetize a YouTube channel, you have to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. That might sound like a lot, or it might sound like a little. I don't know what to tell you about that. I think 4,000 watch hours is a lot. If this video is 15 minutes long and you stay for 6 minutes, I just got 6 minutes, right? So that takes 10 people to get me 60 minutes, 1 hour of watch time, right? And you need 4,000, and it has to be in a 12-month window. You cannot earn 4,000 watch hours over 2 years and have it count. You have to get that 4,000 hour metric in 1 calendar year. That is how YouTube determines that your channel is bringing in multiple audiences multiple times, etc., right? So it's not an easy metric to hit. Some people take years to do it. Like I said, having the 24 Road Glide as a kind of a hack to get that watch time and the subscribers initially in the door was very helpful. And it's funny because if you look at my metrics over the months, my fastest growth of the channel was when I first bought the bike in the beginning of 2024. It's kind of getting quicker and quicker now that the channel has grown in size, but I'll tell you what, in the beginning it was like just getting shot out of a cannon. It was impressive, and it was fun to see. So, but I knew that it would taper off after a few months, so I knew to keep my expectations in check and not get discouraged when those numbers dropped off, because they did pretty big. So yeah, that's what it takes to get monetized. And once you are, it takes about 2 months before you start seeing checks from YouTube. And they pay once a month, about the 25th. And they're very dependent on viewership, not just like you clicking on the video and then watching it and that's that, right? They look at how long the viewer stays. They look at if they skip the ads, etc. Even down to the style of content, right? If it's just like a compilation of crashing cars, they know that they can only auction off the ad spaces to a certain type of person that's wanting to run ads, right? So the more professional, the more educational, the better quality of content that you can provide, the more that they can auction off ad spaces to companies for, and the more that you ultimately earn. A good RPM, I think that I've heard, is something like $8 to $12 per 1,000 views, which is not much. It's really not. But I think that's about what it is. I usually end up somewhere around $12 per 1,000 views. And my viewership is kind of steady, but it does fluctuate based on how I'm able to put videos out. So let's take August, for example, right? We had Sturgis, so I was on the road, so I wasn't putting out videos. And then I got back and my boat is in the shipyard and I'm trying to make these videos on my downtime at home, and I just am so overwhelmed because I'm working a ton of overtime. So I was only able to get 2 videos out in a month. So when I get 2 videos out in a month instead of 4, viewership drops just because there's less content to be watched, and YouTube pushes it to less people because they see that I'm not being as consistent with my posting, right? So it's really crazy to look at those metrics, and I don't concern myself with them at all because I'm not doing this as a full-time job. I'm not doing this to get rich. I'm doing it for fun, and what keeps me going is you guys and my enjoyment of the process, not the paycheck, because the paycheck is tiny. So keep that in mind if you're thinking about starting a channel, because I've had people specifically email me asking that they would love to know how to start a channel, what it takes, filming stuff, what kind of cameras, etc. So I wanted to dive into that a little bit. So getting into how much the channel earns, I don't really know an average, but if I had to spit one out, I would say $600 a month. That's not taxed. YouTube does not tax that. It is just deposited right into my account each month, and that's that. Now, keep in mind, when I make these videos for you guys, they are 15, 20 minutes long. And when it comes to like the trip videos, it's an hour a minute of editing for footage. So when I load all this footage in and I start editing it out and color grading it and doing audio and picking like what sections of the video I want to use and the most scenic part of the ride in the corner and et cetera, I spend 1 hour to make 1 minute of video. So we're talking 15 hours for a 15-minute video. And that video makes me $150, $200, right? So financially, currently, it is not worth it. If you think that you're gonna get rich on YouTube and that it's easy and must be nice, think again. I'm telling you, it's a lot of work. I understand why so few people are very successful on YouTube, because yes, you can make a ton of money on it, but there is no instant gratification if you're looking for that gratification in money, right? If you get the gratification from people and from subscribers and comments and from people engaging with your videos and meeting them at these bike trips and stuff like I do, then you just keep going because you're getting that gratification. But if you're just doing it to get a paycheck, it's not gonna happen, right? It's not 5 years, it's not gonna happen. So yeah, that's definitely something to keep in mind if you're considering, must be nice, etc. So let's talk about exact numbers for the channel. I'm gonna go through and just boom, 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 tell you the months and how much I earned, and we'll go from there. So YouTube is owned by Google. Google is who pays me via AdSense. In February of 2024, I made $90.73. That was because it was like a half month of when I initially started earning because of the 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 watch hours. So it took me about a month to get monetized, which is lightning fast. awesome. Thank you guys so much for that. Keep in mind that since it was a little bit on that one, the next one was much larger, but that's not what it normally is. April 1st, 492. May, 529. June, 505. July, 458. My best month, actually, August, 962.53. September, 737, 594, 449, 398. And that takes us to December. Let's see, 25, 398, 393, 382, 639, 427, 701, 784, 730, 595. September was 595. So we're ranging from $300–400 with like 2 videos in a month. And now that the channel is growing, it's a bit more. My average has gone up over the last few months. You can see if I'm doing decent amounts of videos, like 3–4 videos a month, my average is like $700 something. That's kind of the month to month. I know it's a bit all over the place, but like I said, it is dependent on, you know, how many videos I get out and if people are watching, right? Let's talk lifetime of the channel. So since I started the channel and got monetized in February of 2024, total, the channel has made $11,463.59. So some of you may think that's a lot. Some of you may not. I think it's awesome that I have earned any money doing this. Realistically, that has covered about the monthly payments of my motorcycle, which is, I put $7,500 down, $530 a month without insurance or anything like that, just the monthly, you know, bill of the bike. So yeah, I think that's pretty neat. If I do this for the next 5 years at this pace, I'll have completely earned that motorcycle through making these videos and sharing them with you guys, which I think is just a really cool thing to think about. So thank you guys so much for that. Keep in mind that all of those numbers that I just threw around are not taxed. So I saved all of that money my first year in a savings account, considering the fact that I would end up having to pay $4,000 or $5,000 in taxes on that, meaning that it really wasn't much. Like you're looking at, if I'd paid $5,000 in taxes, now you're looking at $6,000 in hand, right? So, but I was mentally prepared for that. But come to find out, Google sends you a 1099 miscellaneous form for your taxes on this, on these AdSense payments, right? I didn't know what any of that meant because I'm a W-2 employee normally. But basically what a 1099 miscellaneous is a sole proprietor situation where it's like you're a business owner. So when I started doing my taxes, I looked into it and it asks me a bunch of write-offs and stuff like that. And it ended up being that I, for the first time ever, got money back. I normally file 0 on my taxes on my W-2 stuff from my work, and I normally break even. It's like I get like $19 back or something. Like, I mean, like 5 years in a row, I've gotten like anywhere from like $5 to $20 back in taxes. So no large, you know, cash refunds for me at the tax season. But having filed with this 1099 miscellaneous and done all my deductions for the first time ever, I got money back. I ended up getting almost $5,000 back. So on top of that 11,200, whatever the heck it was, I also got almost a $5,000 tax refund at what, April, for the end of the year. So keep in mind that is not money that I earned. That is just, you know, taxed income that I'm now getting back from my other income. But nonetheless, this created that circumstance for me. Without having a 1099 miscellaneous and earning this money from Google, I didn't have, you know, the ability to write all that stuff off and, you know, do that. So without owning a business or anything like that, this has been a kind of a cool little secondary thing that, you know, as a result of it. So overall, I guess you could say the channel in its lifetime has earned me about $16,500. So that's how much the YouTube channel earns in ad revenue. Now, there are other ways that content creators can earn money on YouTube and on the internet in general. Some people will do it with brand partnerships. You'll have like share a sale, which I have used one time. That was with TCMT on the tour pack, which I told you guys, hey, if you use my code that they gave me, I'll get like a few dollars of your sale. Like you pay the same price, but you know, TCMT gets their share and then they pay me a little bit of it since, you know, I brought you in the door, right? So I forget what they call that. But yeah, share sale, I've earned a few $100s, I would say probably $700-800 on lifetime of the channel through that type of a partnership. The only other way that I've ever been compensated for the channel is a few parts from companies, which I've been very honest with you guys about. Saddlemen has been the largest supporter of the channel. They have made me 3 seats now for free. I've told you guys that. That is not going to stop me from using other products. I plan on buying a LePera seat just to compare it because I have some people that tell me, hey, you know, being biased, and that's fair. SP Concepts, I originally bought their exhaust. They had no clue who I was. I made the video. They liked it, so when I wanted to buy my next one, I reached out. They gave me 30% off, did the same thing the third time. So I got 30% off on that stuff. Here and there, you know, you'll get a couple of little percentage discounts from companies, you know, if they like your stuff, but realistically, that's it. Those are the only ways that I earn an income from YouTube, or, you know, the few parts that, you know, I share with you guys that I'm very open and honest about. So that's it. That's the full meal deal. That's the curtain completely pulled back. Please keep in mind that this is not me bragging. I do not believe that I'm better than anyone. We all end up in the dirt, and, you know, that's that. So I'm just sharing this information because 1, I've been asked for it, and 2, I physically can't do any parts installs right now. I can't hardly stand. Before we wrap this video up, I have one more public service announcement. It's a little bit off brand, but you know what? We're all human and it's a part of life. Men, you have a 25% chance of getting a hernia at some point in your life, somewhere in your abdominal section. It's an abdominal tear. Once it happens, you can't regrow that or heal that yourself. The only way to do that is by surgery. They cut you open, put a mesh net in. You won't be able to walk for a while. It hurts like hell. It sucks. Try to avoid it. Be careful how you lift. And even with lighter weights, no like awkward movements. The way that I ended up with mine was lifting a heavy weight from an awkward sideways angle. I knew right when it happened. So yeah, keep that in mind. You've been warned. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, or if nothing else, found it informational or interesting. You know, a lot of people don't know the way that the YouTube world works, and people think that creators make a ton of money or whatever, but you know, this is what it is. So please give the video a thumbs up, comment down below. If there's anything I missed in this video, I was just spitballing to you guys for the last, you know, hour. So that's that. Videos to look forward to. Dyna, still working on the mid control stuff. How to bolt snap, gonna have to time cert it. You know, we got new wheels from Lindell on the bike, but they're the same wheels, so those ones are gonna be for sale. I really wanna do a detailed walk around of the Road Glide in its current stance, and you know, talk about all the different parts on it, and then deep dive what I think about them now, what I would change, what I plan on changing, etc., because I've had a lot of requests for that. So that'll be the next video probably, and then the Dyna, or vice versa if I'm feeling good enough. So either way, make sure you're subscribed so you guys catch all that content. One more time, thank you guys for everything. I appreciate you. I will catch you in my next off week.